Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is a 1987 horror/comedy directed by Sam Raimi. He's done Evil Dead 1, link in the description. I have done a review on that one. He's also done the 2002 era of Spider-Man movies and somehow the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I'm still surprised reading that again, that he's done Doctor Strange. It's crazy. Bruce Campbell returns to play Ash again. His girlfriend and everyone else are new actors, all playing in movies I've never heard of. It's either small roles or it's too old for me to know, but that's pretty much all the background I can gather from this. So what's the movie about? It starts off with a quick recap of the first movie, except Ash and his girlfriend, what's-her-face, I don't remember her name. The other three friends are gone, which is something I'll bring up again later. So Ash brings his girlfriend to a cabin in the woods. They find the Book of the Dead. Girlfriend gets possessed. Ash decapitates her with a shovel. He buries her body and walks out into a new day to get attacked by the flying demon. That last scene is how the first movie ended, so now we continue from there fresh. Ash gets possessed after waking up from the attack, but the sunlight saves him. He gets chased by a flying demon again and gets stuck in the cabin. Shit, he really can't escape, huh? Naturally, his girlfriend climbs out of her grave and dances around in a stop-motion animation style, as you do. He then chainsaws her to death, or at least she's more dead than she once was. He starts losing his mind and hallucinating, and he does this throughout the movie. His hand also gets possessed, which is just a ridiculous thing he has to constantly deal with now. So he chops his hand clean off. He then has this whack-a-mole game where he tries to shoot his sentient hand before getting sprayed with blood from the walls like a fucking waterfall. It was ridiculous. Okay, is this getting too insane for you? Don't worry, B-Plot arrives in a plane and drives to the cabin. It is two guys and two girls, and they're so obviously possession fodder for this demon. Let's throw more crap at Ash, why don't we? One guy gets possessed and starts floating around before getting axed in the head. By the way, during this possession, you can clearly see the cable holding him while he's floating. They obviously hide these things, but this is just hilarious that you can see it so clearly. One lady runs outside after a scare and gets captured by the trees, just like the first movie. This time she doesn't get fucked by the trees, but why are we doing this again? You're traumatizing us, please. Anyway, Ash gets possessed like before and tries to kill the other guy. So he's busy struggling, like, please help me, Annie. He's on the ground. He got, attacked by Ash. Annie accidentally stabs him. Now he's on the ground, bleeding out. Annie tries to close the door, but this man's body is in the way, and she keeps slamming the door on his body to try to close it. That was so funny. I laughed so hard at that scene. He then gets pulled into the basement. Annie tries to help him, pull him out, but I don't know if there's a shredder in there because it sprays blood all over Annie like a fucking sprinkler. It was awesome. So, okay, Ash is tired of causing problems. Now he's Rambo. On that no hand, he builds a chainsaw hand. He then gives us a beautiful one-liner. Groovy. Okay, thanks, dude. Ash kills Grandma. I wrote this down, but I have no fucking clue who Grandma is. The trees are back for more and attack the house. And that flying demon we saw before reveals its gorgeous face to us during the attack. Man, is it pretty. And during the final battle, Annie sacrifices herself to recite a chant that destroys the demon. A portal appears to suck in the demon and the house, and Ash is caught in the portal as well. The portal spits him out into a desert somewhere. He gets up and discovers that he got transported to the medieval era. Yep, with knights, castles, and all. The end. Movie ends just like that. So, let's ignore the ending for a second. I'll come back to that. What is so strange about this movie right from the beginning is that they seemingly recap the previous movie in a different way. Instead of 5 people, it's only Ash and his girlfriend, but every important event happens just like the original. So, is this a remake or a sequel? The story picks up where the first ended anyway, so I think it's a sequel. It's just so bizarre to me. And the ending implies that this franchise has taken an insane turn. The haunting house, I understand. The possession comes with it. The trees, sure, it's an extension of the demon, right? The sentient hand, that's pushing it. Time travel? Okay, let me just smoke a blunt real quick. If you've seen my first Evil Dead review, you might remember that the pacing was slow. Other times it was too slow. Yeah, don't worry about that ever again. Evil Dead 2's balls to the walls all the way through, and Ash just has to deal with everyone getting possessed, blood constantly getting shot into his face. He's also insane. Did I mention that? He is insane all the time. He then gets dropped 1,000 years in the past from a portal. I feel for Ash, dude. He's going through it. Apart from the story, I must commend this movie's cinematography, just like the original. A lot of shots are similar and still impressive. The music's fine. Nothing else really stands out. But what I think did stand out was that possessed hand, which brings us to the acting. Ash's actor is a legend for having that hand scene look so realistic. If I ever have a possessed hand, that's what it's going to do to me. Yeah, it throws me on my ass as well. Because Ash did a full backflip during the scene. Give this man a raise, please. Everyone else did okay as well, I guess. So that brings us to our rating. As much as I would love to give this movie a 10 for the crew being too scared to say no to the director or something, I'm giving it a 7. And just to reiterate, that's just below my average of 8 because the plot was insane. Overall, I had an absolute blast watching this movie because that insanity just works in this context. Every scene was unique and I couldn't tell what was coming next. My only criticism would be leaning more into either the comedy aspect or the horror because there were a lot of serious scenes as well as absurd jokes. I just would have loved to have more of one or the other, but not both, you know? So if you like horror movies, possession type things, or dark comedies, you'll like this one. Side rant. I've seen a bit of Evil Dead content before, and I've played the Evil Dead game for a little bit, and I saw Ash in Dead by Daylight, so I've seen Evil Dead everywhere. I always wondered what happened to Ash's hand. Now I know. He chopped it off. Okay, cool. Thanks everyone so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.